Tao Te Ching VII. Humility. The universe is eternal, and Earth is lasting. The reason the universe and the Earth are eternal and lasting is that they do not exist for themselves. That is why they endure. The wise humble themselves, and because of their humility, they are worthy of praise. They put others first, and so become great. They are not focused on outcomes or achievements. Therefore, they always succeed. I think more than anything, what this meditation and the Tao Te Ching is calling us to realize is that humility is a lot less about putting yourself down and rather bringing others up and bringing other things up. A lot of people see, like, humbling themselves as, like, belittling yourself, almost. And I don't agree with that. I think you should be arrogant and humble. Now, you might hear that and be like, Jaden, how can those two things coexist? Let me cook. You should be arrogant in your understanding of yourself, in your conviction, in who you are, in your abilities, and how beautiful and powerful you are. You should absolutely walk around like you got, like, the biggest balls in the universe, because you're hot shit. You should walk around like that, because it's true. If you don't think that's the case, it's cool. I know that's the case for you, so it's good. Now, the thing is, we should always humble ourselves to the universe and to reality, to God. We should always humble ourselves in our awareness. Never thinking that we have everything figured out, because we never do. We have finite minds, but there's infinite knowledge in the universe. And so we can never have it all figured out. That's inherently foolish. Right? Like, that claim is ontologically incoherent. You should have humility and always have a student mindset. You should always be willing to be empathetic and step into another person's perspective. You should always be willing to question your own perspective. You should always be willing to open yourself and open your heart and ask God to reveal answers to you that you couldn't see previously with your limited perception. Always have humility in terms of how you can grow more, but also always be arrogant in terms of who you know you are and how much you love yourself from that place. So yes, both can exist. Trust me, I know it. I live it. The wise humble themselves, and because of their humility, they are worthy of praise. This is getting at this deeper level that we are all inherently one in the Creator, and thus we are all equal at that level. Jesus called us to recognize Him in the prisoner, to recognize Him in the poor man. Because if you didn't see Jesus in them, you didn't know Jesus. Because Jesus knew, and He taught, and He demonstrated through His embodiment that we're all one in the living Father. And so when you do it for them, you do it for me. And if you didn't do it for the least of these, you didn't do it to me. That was Jesus' metaphysics. That was His ethics. Jesus said it plainly. Not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord is going to get in my kingdom. Only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. And when Jesus says, get in my kingdom, He doesn't mean like some afterlife eternal place that's like up there in the cosmos, right? Now, I'm sure there are heavenly realms that exist, for sure. But the kingdom of heaven, in the early Christian sense, was never about some afterlife place. It was always the active, reigning presence of God right here and right now. Jesus said that the kingdom is spread out upon the earth, but people don't see it. We're all a part of God's kingdom. We're all one in the living Father, one in the Mother, the Tao, as we talked about in our last commentary on the Tao Te Ching. And when you recognize that inherent unity of all, you realize, although we all have individuality and uniqueness, for sure, and although we all have unique roles to play, for sure, we all have this inherent mutuality, this inherent relatability at the level of we are all souls that come from the one Spirit. And when you understand that, you can't see yourself as like higher than other people or better in an egotistical sense, because we're all just one. The only thing you can see is differentiation in skills, in leadership, in ability, in articulation, in desire, in experience. And when you see that, you can see, oh, okay, so we all have this unique part to play for the unique self-symphony that is evolving the cosmos. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh boy, it is. Humble yourself. Realize that we're all one and that we all have a beautiful part to play in this unique self-symphony, in this cosmic orchestra, so to speak. Never think that you have it all figured out, because you don't. That's ontologically incoherent. The nature of the universe, as well as the nature of all things, is inherently infinite in its interiority, in its essence. Now, its expression will be finite. Our understanding of it will be finite. That's why our understanding needs to deepen. Right? Like, why do you think science keeps evolving? Why do you think we keep having a deepening understanding of science? Science is the measurement of behavior and of quantity. Well, our ability to measure quantity accurately and our ability to observe behavior over time gets better as we get better. It gets deeper as our understanding gets deeper. It widens and breadthens as our awareness widens and breadthens. Do you feel what I'm saying? There's no such thing as having it all figured out. And so be humble in that sense. I want to leave talking about this last line here. They are not focused on outcomes or achievements, they being the wise. Therefore, they always succeed. That's actually exactly what I was talking about earlier with these like two fundamental types of desire. In terms of the... Oh wait, no, I think that was in the last video. Oh fuck, my bad. Wait, was it? Fuck. Honestly, I don't remember. But basically, there are the two types of desire. The curiosity overflow desire that reflects the abundance of the soul. And there is the lack, scarcity, egoic desire that is more so representing like the misperceptions of the ego. What I mean by that is the ego has this fundamental misbelief that it is lacking, and thus it must go find things in the external world to fulfill that lack in itself. The problem is, though, the ego has this like infinite void. Now, the void isn't really a void, but we're just going to use that term for now. And so because the void is infinite, all it can ever do is take all these finite things and keep trying to put them into the whole, right? It's like a black hole almost, you can think of. Well, a black hole is never going to be satisfied. It's always going to want more. And so you're always stuck in this hamster wheel. Outcomes, outcomes, outcomes. More money, more women, more blah, 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 more muscle. It doesn't matter. More subscribers, more success. It doesn't matter. And the thing is, we've all already felt what it's like to experience this. You've already done the things that you said that were going to make you happy. Where are you right now? We have to realize that if we don't move from abundance, which actually fundamentally shifts how we even understand how we're approaching our interior and our exterior world, we're always going to be stuck in a hamster loop. You are not an infinite being that is infinitely lacking internally and can only ever find those things in the external. No, you are an infinite being who is overflowing and has actually always been more than enough. You're infinite. You don't have an infinite void. You have an infinite sun. It's not an infinite black hole. Gimme, 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 gimme. It's an infinite sun. Express me, express me, express me. And that divine dissatisfaction that you feel, that wake up, motherfucker, get to it, that knock on your door that's like, yo, what up? What are we doing today? Are we growing? Are we moving? Are we evolving? Are we becoming? How are we serving? How are we giving? How are we refining our gift? How are we practicing our devotion to self-mastery, to purpose, to mission, to calling, to God, ultimately? That, like, unbearing knock on your door and, like, banging on your fucking windows. That's your soul calling, being like, wake up, motherfucker. There's shit to do. There's stuff to express. There's more to become. There's more of your infinite interiority to express within this finite expression, this finite manifestation. The ego believes that it has this infinite void and it has to fill things up in the external. That's false. The unique self knows it has this infinite sun within inside itself, but the infinite sun can never fully express itself with infinitude. And so all it can ever do is expand its capacity to express, expand its capacity to know, to be aware, expand its capacity to feel, to embody, to love, to desire, to grow, to serve. All we can ever do is expand. Your desire for more, to have more, to become more, it isn't this like egoic maniac thing. It's actually your soul calling you to be who you are. And so don't listen to anyone who doesn't know what they're talking about, because most people don't. Most people will just see, your desire to become, to strive, as like, oh, why can't you just have balance, or why can't you just whatever it is. It's just like, oh, okay, obviously the fire just doesn't burn inside of you. Just go away. I mean, all those motherfuckers, they'll never get it. I do. We have these two sources of desire. The ego moves from outcomes and achievement. The unique self moves from desire, flow, refinement, and devotion. Now the thing is, outcomes and achievements are fucking awesome. You should set goals. You should want to reach certain milestones. Because the thing is, setting a destination helps you with having a journey to get to that destination. And the thing is, the journey itself is always actually the thing that refines us. The journey is always the thing that gives us life. The journey is the thing that improves us. Right? Sex isn't about nutting. It's about having sex. do you feel what I'm saying? To put it so simply. You know what I mean? Like, sex isn't about the orgasm for either of you. Now, those things can be a part of it, but it's ultimately about the experience of being in each other's presence. It's about the circulation of sexual energy. It's about the presence and the experience that is created while you two are in the doing itself. For me, these videos aren't about how many views I'm going to get when they're on YouTube. I mean, that's great. How many people I'm going to be able to impact, all that stuff's amazing. But to be honest, for me, this is about refining my craft. I show up so I can be in the process itself. I show up for the work itself. I show up for the doing itself. Because for me, the becoming is the point. The becoming is the reward. The refinement of my craft is the reward. And as I refine my craft refines me. That is the reward. Don't be attached to outcomes. Be in love with processes. I promise you, if you can humble yourself and devote yourself to processes rather than being obsessed with needing outcomes, right? It's like, I still have tons of goals and outcomes. I want to have 20K subscribers on this YouTube channel. I want to be making $1 million per year in the next 2 years. It's like, I have goals. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, the goals don't matter, though. The work that I do along the way, that makes me better. And that serves other people from that place and ultimately gives God glory. That's the only thing that matters. And if I do that enough, I'll get to the point where my goals are inevitable because I'll be that inevitable. Let's call it there. Daimon, signing out.